welcome. The Scene presents the dish, the NL preview, the NL playoff preview. I am your host, Germ So True, and we got the entire crew with us tonight. We got my guy Jorge, we got Category 5, Mr. Josh Storms himself, to go along with the crafty Mr. Artie, and also the Dodgers fan himself, Mr. Tyrell himself. And today we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna break this thing down, we're gonna make it real nice and easy, and we're gonna just put this together. So roll that beautiful bean footage. So what we got going here is we have, as you see, the bracket for the NL and the AL playoffs, and we're gonna basically break down the NL today. We're gonna start with the Dodgers and the Brewers matchup first, and I'll go to Tyrell in 1 second. But as you see, we have Dodgers Brewers, we have Padres Cardinals, we have Cubs Marlins, and we have Braves Reds. So now we can go back to the original screen. And what we're going to do here in this situation, as we going to call it, is we're going to slide over here to the West Coast, and we're going to talk to our West Coast correspondent, Mr. Tyrell Love. He said the tie through. Well, okay. Well, we ain't going to ask no questions. We just going to let it be. We're going to go through the tie through. So, Ty, go ahead and go ahead and let's get that Dodgers Brewers matchup, and let's go.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Germ So True for the wonderful introduction. The tie through. I'm always hungry, and this postseason, I'm starving for a World Series. Yes, I come with a lot of Dodgers bias, but I'm gonna set all that aside, and I'm gonna actually give you some pointers on both teams in this series. Okay. So we do have the best team in the league, the Los Angeles Dodgers, doing well as far as in the season. That's nothing new. We know that they're the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball. And with the postseason comes new opportunities to either rewrite history or keep that Buffalo Bills cycle going. So with that, the Brew Crew, okay? If you want to pull off what is probably going to be the Buster Douglas Mike Tyson upset in this postseason, which you can do, because anybody can get punched in the mouth and anybody can get put on their back. Okay, Mike Tyson, don't come for me with that because I can't throw hands with you. But anyway, like I said, if the Brewers want to do this, which they can, your starting lineup is going to have to show us who they are and remind us that at one point in time, you had the league MVP. Christian Yelich, is that you? Do I see you? Do I recognize you? No, I don't. Not this season. But if you can actually make us a believer and, get some momentum and punch us in the mouth, set the tone, you could win and you could pull off the biggest upset. And it can happen. You have, a great bullpen, shaky a little bit, but if your electric dudes that you used to be back in like 2018, as Craig Counsell used to say, you still have Josh Hader. I don't like him, but you still have him. You can really, put the Dodgers away if, things are close. Now, how do you put the Dodgers away when you have one of the most explosive offenses? Well, unfortunately, to my Blue Crew, your starters and your stars haven't been well in the postseason career-wise. I'm calling out Mookie. I'm calling out Bellinger. I'm calling out Pollock. I'm calling out Seager. If you look at the numbers career-wise of the postseason, it hasn't been pretty. And I could give you those numbers, but I don't want to because they're that bad, really bad. So with that,
we don't want to somebody.
Talk about it. Oh, no, I don't want to talk
about
it. I don't. With that, though, you still have the deepest roster in the major leagues. You still have some names that could really, really make things, go around. You have Will Smith. Shout out to the Fresh Prince. You have Young Jock, where it's going down. You have Max Muncy. So no pressure, guys, but those names I called out, those four guys, you got to show us something. And of course, your pitchers. We have Walker and Clayton. I need y'all back to back, just dominate, and then let's get it rolling. So with that, if the Dodgers, want to show us who they are and not hear the words "so it's been since 1988," you know what you have to do. You need to come out and punch the Brewers in the mouth and show them who you are. Don't give them a chance to, be the underdogs, which the Nationals were. I'm gonna bring it up. The Nationals were the underdogs, and look what happened. Momentum means everything in baseball, and that's all I got to say about that. X factors. Like I said, for this series for the Dodgers, you're going to need those four guys. You're going to need those bats to show up and show out this postseason. Bellinger, Seager, Pollock, and Betts, I'm looking at you. Turner, I might throw you in there a little bit, but Turner, you've been pretty good. Hopefully you're healthy. But anyway, for the other crew, the Brew crew, Yelich, I got to put all the pressure on you. Who are you? Are you the MVP or you just forgotten?
All right, so basically, I'm gonna ask this question now, Ty. Who you rolling with? Do we got the Dodgers in two, the Dodgers in three, the Brewers in three, the Brewers in two? Who you picking?
All right. So I gotta go with, I'm a hometown guy. I gotta go Dodgers. You gotta close this out in a sweep. You gotta make a statement. Hands down. Don't let it go 3 games.
Mr. Category 5, Dodgers, Brewers, who you picking?
Dodgers in two. They have an advantage in every department. They've been the best team in baseball all year. I just it's been really hard to believe in the Brewers with as bad as, especially as bad as Yelich has been. He was the heart and soul of the team last year, and he's been awful this season. I just don't see it.
All right, Mr. Young Swiss Artie, Dodgers or Brewers?
Jorge, who you got? I got the Brewers in 11. I'll take the Dodgers in 2. Unless it does go 11, then I got the Brewers. But yeah, Jorge, who you got?
But real quick before I answer, I want to just give a shout out to my son Nick. He's watching right now. I don't know why you're in bed, young man, but anyway, I got the Dodgers in 2, man. Just too powerful, too strong, too deep, I don't see how the Brewers even get a game in this series.
All right, so with that being said, we're going to stick with Jorge. We're going to go San Diego Padres and St. Louis Cardinals. Who you got? And how we going to do it?
Look, this is one of those series to where it's tough. And not because let's say this Cardinals team is good and poised, is because the Cardinal team has experience. And like we always say, whether it's here in baseball, whether it's football or basketball, there is no substitute for experience. Now, the way they're going to win this series is with their starting pitching. Flaherty, Wainwright, and Kim, which is starting game 1 because he went 3-0 this year, they have to pick up the slack and they have to make sure that they limit the run opportunities for the Padres. They have to do that. There's no other way to. They're going to win that series. They're not going to outscore the Padres. That's just not going to happen. And just to kind of give you a little bit of numbers, as you guys know, I'm a numbers guy. San Diego, they've allowed 241 runs, and St. Louis has allowed 229 runs in this 60 game season. Now, as far as runs scored, huge difference. St. Louis has only scored 240 runs, while San Diego scored 325 runs. That's 15 runs away from being 100 run difference in 60 games. That's a huge difference. Now, as the flip side, the Padres, and me and Tyve through went back and forth with this. I think that the X factor in this series is Tatis. You know, he's just carried them all year long. He's one of the 2 or 3 leading candidates in the NL MVP. And like I said, I wouldn't be mad if he won it this year. He hit 277, 47 RBIs, 47 extra base hits in 60 games. That's some outrageous number for 60 games. And he was saying that Machado has to be the X factor just because this team will go as far as Machado carries them. Now, I don't tend to agree there just because Tatis has been doing it all year and the Padres are there because of Tatis. And I consider him to be the X factor. He's just that good of a player to where, let's say, if Machado does not show up, I think Tatis can handle his own. In this series, I predict that the Padres take it in 3. I just don't think that pitching staff will keep the Padres, let's say, under 4 runs a game. I don't see it happening. Just to throw a quick shout out there, because we threw it in the other show, I want to let you guys know the Padres, this is their first playoff appearance since 2006, if you guys didn't watch that show. And yeah, a guy by the name of Mike Piazza played for them. Not a lot of people remember that Mike Piazza wearing a Padres jersey.
So first things first, Mr. Tyrell, Padres, Cardinals, who you picking?
So this series is going to kind of remind me to shout out to a wonderful game by the Yankees today. But this series is going to remind me a lot about the Yankees and Indians because you got a wonderful, powerful lineup against, a decent starting pitching rotation. Not as elite, but it's going to remind me of that. I'm going with the young guns. Padres, I feel you're ready. 3 games.
Category 5. Who you rolling with, my guy? Padres or Cardinals?
I went back and forth on this series a lot, and I didn't make my decision until right before the show. I've got the Padres in 3, although I do think the Cardinals are going to take game 1. Thing about that, Chris Paddock, he's so back and forth. You don't know. Are you going to get 6 innings and 8 or 9 strikeouts out of him, or are you going to get 5 runs in 3 innings? He's been so up and down. But I think the Cardinal or the Padres lineup, that high-powered offense is going to win out.
And young Swiss.
I guess this is going to be a surprise to many. I'm rolling with the Cards in 2. As much as we talk about the Padres' young, high-powered offense, I think the pitching for the Cardinals is much better than maybe the numbers that Jorge. Not saying the numbers are wrong, but I'm saying that I think that they can be much better. And then also we have to realize that the Cardinals have a lineup that you don't want to really face any hitter in that lineup when they're like any of them, Goldschmidt, Osuna, Molina, DeYoung, Wong, whoever it is. You don't want to face a lot of the guys in that lineup. So I'm taking the Cardinals in 2. I don't think the Padres are ready. And I do believe if they do win, I do agree with Ty, though, that Machado is the X factor. But I'm going Cards in 2.
All right.
I cannot wait to screenshot Ty's face and put it side by side with Mo's.
I gave him the Mo Schefter. Shout out to Schefter.
So now we got the Chicago Cubs versus the Florida Marlins. And we're going to let young Swiss Art take that away.
Yeah, so we have a series here that is probably comparable to the Twins Astros in the AL. It's kind of weird. We're probably going to get a 3-game series here. We're probably going to I think we're going to get a series where we're going to jump winners. Game 1 is going to be a different winner than game 2, and game 3 is going to be the game winner of game 1. I just have a better feeling about the Cubs in game 1. So I'm rocking with the Cubs. It's the same thing with the Cardinals, and the same thing with a lot of these NL Central teams. If their lineup, there's 4 NL Central teams in the playoffs, and if their lineups are on, those are some tough at bats that a lot of these teams are going to give you, and especially with Rizzo and Bryan and Baez, and those 3 specifically, and Schwarber and Hayward. I know Ty gave a lot of shout outs to Hayward. We gotta shout him out on the show. Caratini, Contreras, whoever's catching. The Cubs lineup is a very, very, very tough lineup to go against. As good as the pitching is going to be midseason form, the hitting is going to be right there where it's going to be at its best as well. And I just think this is Baez shines in the second half of the season, and going into the second half of the season. Rizzo does too. Brian does too. I just think it's the Cubs' time to do that. The Marlins are inexperienced. They are a good hitting baseball team. I just don't think at Wrigley Field, playing in Chicago, I don't think that they're going to be ready for, the weather's going to be different. The Cubs are just used to it. And I think the Cubs with playoff experience, it's going to make a good series too in the next round. But I'm going Cubs. I'm going to take them to 3. I think they flip games. Cubs win 1, Marlins win 2, and the Cubs win 3. And Yu Darvish will be my X factor along with Javier Baez and, man, it's like everyone on the team, but Javier Baez and Chris Bryant. You guys have to show up very big for your team in this series. So, but I'm going to go with Yu Darvish as my main X factor for the Cubs.
Jorge, Cubs, Marlins.
So can I pick like 5 X factors? It's already got 3. So listen, let's say what it is. The Marlins are here because of the season. They played a lot of doubleheaders because of their early COVID stuff. I don't think they pose much of a threat, and I think the Cubs are going to take it in 2. My X factor is Javi. I expect them to have a monster series, something like 3 for 7 or like 4 for 9, something like that. Home run, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, 5 RBI, something along those lines. I just think he's going to show up big. I have a feeling about that. So, like I said, Cubs in 2.
Mr. Love.
All right, so Eddie Banks is not going to like me, but his Cubs are going to win. Hold up, Eddie. Chill out, chill. Will Smith it. I'm a chill. Cubs are going to win this in 3.
I thought you were saying that because it was going to be a nightmare on his street. But all right, go keep going.
But I agree with Jorge. Baez is going to be the key. Can the Cubs bats feast on the Marlins pitching, which is not that great? The Marlins pitching staff has given up quite a bit of home runs this season, 82 to be exact, putting them at the 7th spot in the league as far as giving up the most home runs. So if those Cubs bats come to eat and are as hungry as the tie through is, 3 games, Cubs.
Category 5. Cubs, Marlins.
I have the Cubs in 2. I've got 2 different X factors too, both for the Marlins. In game 1, I've got the Marlins offense in general. They're facing Kyle Hendricks. Guy's going to probably get 6 or 7 innings. He's only given up 8 walks in 81 innings pitched this year. So they're not going to see a lot of balls. They got to work the count. He's going to put a lot on the defense to make plays behind him. And the Marlins offense has got to get it done. They got to get him out of there and get to the bullpen. Game 2 X factor for me is going to be Sixto Sanchez. He was really good early in the season and really cooled off late. His last 2 starts, if I remember right, he gave up 8 or 9 runs in, I think, 9 innings pitched, which is just awful. So he's got to get back to his early season form for them to even have a chance, in my opinion.
All right, so now that we've gotten to that stage, the stage is set. We got the Atlanta Braves and we got the Cincinnati Reds. As you can see, my man's over here, Mr. Category 5, has the Reds gear on.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let this man go on and break this thing down like only Mr. Category 5 can. Hey, make it rain on these folks. Go ahead.
All right, so game 1, we have Trevor Bauer versus Max Fried. This is going to be the best pitching matchup of the day. You have the odds-on Cy Young Award favorite in Trevor Bauer going against Max Fried. Bauer's resume for the year speaks for himself. He's piled up 100 strikeouts. It is what it is at this point. His whip is at like a .91. He's overpowering batters left and right. Freed has been fantastic though too. 7-0 this year. He's not a strikeout pitcher though. He's going to give you a lot of ground balls. So my X factor for the Braves is going to be the infield. They've got to get it done. Keep the ball in front of them. They haven't been bad defensively, but they're about league average in terms of a fielding percentage. They're really going to have to they cannot commit errors. This is extremely important in the postseason. As a Reds fan in 2012, I saw 2 errors ruin the series against the San Francisco Giants in a 5-game series. That's how important this is. The other thing, another X factor for us, Joey Votto. Guy he turned in a career low batting average of .226 this year. However, in a 60-game season, as Artie likes to remind us, everybody is in midseason form, and Joey Votto is traditionally a second-half guy. So he's got to step it up. If there was a second-half MVP award, he would probably have 6 or 7 of them. So that's what we need to see from him. Aside from last year or maybe the year before, I think he had 7 or 8 years in a row where he hit over 350 in the second half. That is insane. That's what we got to see. And he also rediscovered his power this year. 11 home runs in 60 games after hitting 12 and 15, I think, the last 2 years over the last 2 seasons. The second X factor for the Reds for me is going to be the bullpen. Bauer, Sonny Gray, and Luis Castillo, they're going to be what they are. But once they come out of the game, who's going to step up? The Reds bullpen was awful through the first 40, 45 games this year. And they really hit their stride with going with guys like Lucas Sims, Amir Garrett, and Stevenson really stepped up lately too. They're going to need a lot of that in order to win. I think they get it. The bats have really woken up lately too. They scored 68 runs in the last 14 games. That's almost 5 runs a game. And I didn't write it down. I think they were plus 26 in those games as well, which is huge. I expect that to continue. I've got Reds in 2.
So now we're gonna take it to young Swiss Artie. Who you got?
I'm taking the Reds in 2 as well. Amir Garrett, X factor. That's Reds in 2 for me. I think I was. It was me and Jorge on that show. I picked the Reds all the way, and that's a good team, man. That's a really good team. Reds in 2 for me.
Jorge.
No respect for the Atlanta Braves. Not even
None.
1 game. None. Wow. All right.
Zero.
This is an interesting series, and we talked about it before we came on the actual show. This reminds us a lot of the Yankees-Indian series on the AL side. Good pitching against a good lineup. I personally think that the Reds are going to take this series, not in 2 games though. I give them 3. And I want to give you guys one thing before I go. The last series Cincinnati won in the playoffs was 1995. And for you, Trav, the Braves have dropped 10 straight series going back to 2001, the NLCS. Something's got to give, and it's not going to be the Reds. The Reds are going to take this.
All right, what you got?
Throw this out just to shout out Trav. It's not going to make this year, but the Reds did get swept by the Braves in the NLCS that year in '95. So congratulations, Trav. It's just not going to happen this year.
That was personal.
It was.
Wow.
Who you got?
Okay, so I am going to add to Trav's misery. Now, I'm not going to say a sweep. That's disrespectful to the Braves and the pretty much the second best offense, I would say, in the majors. I mean, you only had 2 teams that hit over 100 home runs. Braves are one of them, the Dodgers being the other. So I'm not going to disrespect the Braves. But what I will say this, and this is why I'm picking the Reds in 3, is Atlanta. Braves, and just Atlanta in general, shout out to the Falcons. Momentum has not been your friend. Lady Momentum has screwed you over from the front, from the back, from the side, all around. Like, it's just that bad. Point this out.
Hey, there's kids watching.
I kept it PG-13. That's PG-13.
That's rated R, sir.
I didn't drop an F-bomb.
Oh, I gotta go now. You heard that? Oh.
But anyway, hey, the scene does it for the kids. But give you a little perspective on momentum and how it has eluded pretty much the Braves in their division. The Braves last won a World Series in 1995, right? So from that point till now, there have been 4 World Series championships in the NL East division since then. Braves haven't touched it since 95. But you have the Marlins who captured 2, you have the Phillies who captured 1, and then you have the Nationals who just did it last year. Shout out to the Mets. They came close twice. Braves, where have you been? Just the postseason is not kind to you. So Trav, I'm gonna add to your misery. I'm gonna give you a respectful 3, but let's go Reds.
So with that being said, I'm just gonna give my final little prediction thoughts here, and then I'm gonna actually let the guys wrap up with a final thought apiece. Give me the Dodgers, give me the Padres, give me the Cubs, and give me the Reds. I'm actually picking the Reds because I do think that the Reds was the one team that we talked about on the very first show that if they got in, they could cause a lot of problems because of that pitching staff. And I think pitching in this situation is going to be king, especially knowing that as the deeper you get, the more likely you're going to see. And I've seen Bauer be able to pitch good with a 70, 80 game season. It's just, can he sustain it longer? These other pitchers are starting to come around. I don't know. It's looking a little Dodgers ain't making it again-ish. But yeah. So with that being said, final thoughts from the crew. We're gonna start with Tyrell because that look he just gave me. I mean, I should just file a charge right now. The look he just gave me, I should file a charge. Go ahead, bro.
Jerem, we gotta fight. How many times have I said we gotta fight? We just gotta do it. This has gotta be done.
I told you.
I love you, man, but we gotta fight. My final thoughts is like this. Now, shout out to everybody who's repping sports gear. I'm preparing, my lucky draws. I'm preparing my Kershaw jersey.
I told you got a playoff beard, man.
I don't want to give the underdogs any chance of any sign of breath of life. Like, choke them out. Like, do what you have to do. Dodgers, don't embarrass me. Please. Please. There it is. And I'm out. Doyers.
Jorge, final thoughts. I just don't understand how Ty can be so aggressive and then say please at the end. Just like that. Man, listen, mine has nothing to do with baseball. I just want to shout out everybody, that's followed us, and thank you guys. Thanks to you, we're now at 125 followers, and because of you, we'll continue to grow. If you can, share our channel, give us a like, just spread the word. We talk sports and we talk it without the narratives, as you can see. We like our teams, but we know their flaws, and we speak the truth. Thank you, guys.
Category 5.
Well, actually, first thing I want to do is throw in something that I forgot to mention about the Reds and Braves. The Braves do not have an announced game 2 starter yet. I expect it to be Ian Anderson. He's been their second best pitcher this year. The reason I don't think that he can beat the Reds, regardless of who he's going up against, I've mentioned this on the show before. To be a good starter in the major leagues, you got to have at least 4 pitches. The guy's got 4, but he's only thrown his sinker 1.4% of the time. So he really only has 3. And against an offense that's finding their stride at the most important time of the year, that's not going to do it. It just isn't. Another thing I want to ask, Tyve through. You did not announce an X Factor for that series. Do you have one?
Oh, I think I do. So let me, just recollect my thoughts right here. Uh, I love animals, so my X factor for this Braves Red series. Shout out to Young Swiss.
Okay. All right. That's it. I'm cutting the live. I can't do this.
Yeah, that's enough of the 1-4. You guys are gonna lose. You guys are gonna lose depending on him, man. You guys are
picked the
gonna
Reds, though.
lose depending on
Hey,
him.
The Reds, though.
This team has gone as he's gone a lot this year. We've lost a lot of games where he's gone hitless, and we've won a lot of games where he's come up with big hits.
But there's gonna be a lot more games that he comes up hitless. So
A lot of that was to clown you, but it's real too.
That home run is lethal. That home
Hey,
run is lethal.
that 2-3-1 is too. That's the batting average. All right, so I was prepared for that. Don't worry. My final thoughts. I just want to update everybody. The Rays are up 1-0. The White Sox are up 1-0. The Astros are up 1-0. Thanks to Romo and not Tony. And the Yankees are up 1-0. And I just want to say that all 4 of my game 1 picks were right. I just want to put that on the show. I don't know why I want to put that on the show. I'll just put it on the show. And counting on Moose, you're gonna lose. So that's what I got.
This man. Boo this man.
Boo, boo.
Hey, man. Shout out to you guys.
What's that?
Shout out to you guys, man, for being able to put all of this stuff together, because it's a lot of information that you guys just covered here in about 25 minutes here. So with that being said, we got category 5, the tie through, the dish guru, Young Swiss Art, and I'm Germ So True today. I'm not nobody up this. I'm just him. So with that being said, y'all, this is the dish presented by the Scene. Like, subscribe, check out the content. Of course, you never know when we may go live, so you might want to go ahead, hit that button, hit that subscribe button twice, and go ahead and get the notifications for when we go live. With that being said, Scene out. To the dish we go.